with. Go give you training where go help you. If you want your farming to progress, you farming go they make sense when you join. Your livestock no go die, you. My brother make you join. This message is brought to you by Farmalot, providing health care for livestock owners and their livestock. It's ODJ. Share you like us, your chicken they die anyhow. Share you like us, your fish they die anyhow. You don't tire to the fumigate to pick up. You don't tire to the lose money, oh. Yeah. With Farmalot, no worry my brother, you go get a lot. It's Farmalot, all the sickness for your farm go end at last. Oh, God relax, Farmalot don't come, we go help you out. Madam relax, Farmalot don't come, we go bail you out. You want your farming to progress, everything go they make sense with. Go give you training, we go help you. If you want your farming to progress, farming go they make sense when you join. Your livestock no go die, my brother make you join. This message is brought to you by Farmalot, providing health care for livestock owners and their livestock. It's ODJ. Share you like us, your chicken they die anyhow. Share you like us, your fish they die anyhow. You don't tire to the fumigate to pick up. You don't tire to the lose money, oh. Yeah. With Farmalot, no worry my brother, you go get a lot. It's Farmalot.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I trust you're all doing okay. You're welcome to this edition of Aspire program, the first of the year. I am Dr. Fasasi Abdubasi. I'm one of the facilitators for today. Together with me is Dr. Grace Anne. Um, so I'll be inviting her up to introduce our guest speaker and hub expert.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fasasi. Good morning, everybody. My name is Dr. Grace Ame, and I'm one of the facilitators for today's program. Um, First of all, I would like to introduce our speaker for today. Our speaker for today is Dr. Onuche Shalom Agweche he graduated from University of Jos as the first set. So I would like to introduce Dr. Fasasi to give us a briefing about the topic for today.
Okay, good morning once again, everyone. Today's topic is how to excel and stay afloat through vet school. And our hub expert is Dr. Niche, who will take us through this wonderful topic. It's an enlightening one, and I believe everyone on this call would take one or two things home today from Dr. Niche. Today is the first edition of Aspire program for the year, hosted by Farmalot, and we'll be having many more. So we normally call up experts who will take us through a particular topic they are well versed in. So our speaker for today is Dr. Niche. So I would advise you all to get a pen and a book to jot down notable points we'll be raising today. And also, along the line, get your questions ready because we'll have a question and answer session. So I would like to call on Dr. Grace to pick up the mic.
Hello, everybody. So, before I call Dr. Onuche, I would like to give you a little biography about Dr. Onuche so that you know what you're expecting from him. So, first of all, he graduated with a first class and he was the best graduating student from the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, University of Jos. He also received an award for best graduating students from the Nigerian Veterinary Medical Association. As if that was not enough, he also got the award from the Vice Chancellor for the best graduating student from Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, University of Jos in 2022. He also got the Dean's Award for the best graduating student, Faculty of Veterinary Medicine. He also got the best graduating clinical students from the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, University of Jos. He also got Professor Ade Yanju's Memorial Award for the best graduating students in surgery and radiology from the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine. He was also the best graduating student from the Department of Pharmacology and Toxicology. Wow, very, very impressive, right? He also got distinction in veterinary physiology and biochemistry. And he also got distinction in veterinary microbiology, and then he was the best graduating male student, Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, the University of Jos. And then he was also the most influential student. Obviously, he has to be the most influential student. And then he got the award of excellence, Faculty of Veterinary Medicine. And then he was the pioneer for Farm Alert Outlier program. He was the first person who started the outlier program from Farm Alert, which is impressive. And then during his time in school, he didn't only focus on vets, he was also the president of the International Veterinary Student Association, IVSA, University of Jos chapter in 2017 and 2019. That wasn't enough. He was also the vice president of the Nigerian Veterinary Medical Christian Student Fellowship, Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, University of Jos. That wasn't enough for him. He was also the president of the Youth for Christ Fellowship, Christian Evangelical Fellowship of Nigeria. This is very, very impressive. He was the best graduate student and he also had leadership roles while he was in school. Right now, he's the senior officer and resident veterinarian at the Integrated Diaries Limited, VOM, Nigeria. I'm very, very sure most of you know about Farm Fresh Yogurt because I know about Farm Fresh Yogurt. Farm Fresh Yogurt is actually the best yogurt in Nigeria. I can assure you that. And then he's working with them. He's the senior officer resident veterinarian. So right now, I want to welcome Dr. Onuche Shalom Agweche to come and join us in this program.
Morning. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
But before he comes out, you can actually leave your. There will be an opportunity for him to answer your questions.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Grace. I'm so honored to be here. The media team can hear me. Dr. Grace, can you hear me?
Yes, I
think
can hear
something
you,
is good.
sir.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for this opportunity. It's so nice to be here among you all, and thank you also for the professorial welcome, like I just said yesterday. It's an honor to be here. My name is Onuche Shalom Agweche. I'm a veterinarian. I graduated from the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, University of Jos, 2022. So I'm a young veterinarian, and that being said, Dr. Grace has said quite a number of things, right, about me. And I just want to say I thank you for all of that. And it's a privilege to be here. Now, today we'll be talking about how to stay afloat and excel in vet school. And it's a very, very interesting topic, especially for veterinary students. What we're talking about today is not really going to be like a general formula that is going to apply to every student. Also to ensure that if you do all of these things, you are going to graduate with first class, you are going to graduate as a best student, you are going to know. That's not necessarily what we are going to be doing today. We just want to share our experience with you all, and we hope that you will glean from them and you pick up useful tool that you would apply to your life, and if done appropriately, we trust that you would be able to navigate your way successfully through vet school. It's an interesting college. Like veterinary medicine, studying veterinary medicine is really an interesting college. It has, a lot of meanders, and if one is not careful, like we know, we have veterinary students here. So if one is not careful, you might not make it out. So thank you very much. Like you've heard, so let's start. Let me start by sharing a little of my story through vet school, and then thank you, Dr. Zainab. And then I'll just share some points. I think I have like 7 points to share with you. And before then, and thereafter, we might take the questions and other comments that will come up. All right, so we were the first set of veterinarians or veterinary students that were admitted into the faculty University of Jos, and so there was a lot of expectations from us. The faculty, under the leadership of Professor Lami Hanatulombin, wanted to produce some very, very specific or hybrid of veterinarians in the country. And in order to do that, they were on top of their game. They employed some of the best hands around the country and from different vet schools, and right, and from different vet schools. And then they also had to ensure that we are very, very disciplined and also very seeing also that it's a new faculty. They also want to ensure that all of the things that has to do with accreditation in terms of NUC and then the VCN accreditation, we were not lagging behind. So they were putting in a lot of effort. I must say that without their effort, we wouldn't have really actually graduated so well. And so we were 52 that got the admission in 100 level. And in 100 level, the faculty told us that they needed just 25 students for 200 level, and that was the number they wanted to work with based on what the NUC has said. From 52, they had admitted 5 direct entry students. So they wanted to pick just 5 of us from 100 level. And this was told us in second semester of 100 level. And so, I mean, the pressure was just intense on us. Everybody was competing. In fact, we had a slogan there. Other faculties were calling us the first 20 elements. We wanted to see who will make in the first 20. So after the second semester, well, they picked the first 20 people based on their criteria, based on academic performance. So they picked the first 20. I was privileged enough to be there, and it was so sad seeing a lot of our colleagues that we built relationship with go out of the faculty to other faculties and all. I mean, it wasn't a nice experience at all. So we started off the journey 20 from 100 level, and then 5 direct entries. So we are 25 at 200 level. And it was a very, very intense and rigorous journey. I mean, with all of the shotguns, you are writing every day. In first semester of 200 level alone, we wrote over 50 shotguns. And I remember that time, the Department of Mass Comm of the school had to send some of their students to think I'm losing out. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Is Dr. Grace here?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, I'm here. We
Is
can
it
hear
my
you.
network?
We can hear you, sir. Carry on. Maybe it's network. Maybe it's network.
Okay, is that, was it my network? Can you hear me?
Yes, maybe it's your network, but we can actually hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Hello, Dr. Grace.
Yes, sir, we can hear you. I'm here.
Sorry, I think it's a network trouble I'm trying to sort out.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, are we good to go?
Yeah, we're good to go. Can carry on.
All right, thank you, Dr. Yes, thank you. Okay, thank you, Dr. Fasasi. Right. All right, so it was very intense and rigorous for us. Meanwhile, with all of these things happening, at any point you are losing me, please, you can just drop a message in the chat so that I can quickly, looked at it. All right. So with all of these things happening, we didn't have any predecessors to look up to. There was nobody to guide us. Yeah, some of our lecturers were really, really, really helpful. So they just keep sharing their experience in vet school and things that they felt could help us. But that notwithstanding, that would not replace the practicality or the reality of seeing someone just a year or two ahead of you passing through the same stress and just like your contemporary, right? But there was nobody to learn from. Like for every time we wrote every test or every exam, it was the first time that test and that exam was written in the faculty. Like we didn't know how questions were asked, we didn't know how to read. You go into an exam, you don't know if you are over reading or you are underprepared, all of those things. And you come out of that exams most of the times like, I was really over prepared for this exam. I shouldn't have spent a lot of time if I knew that was how the exam is going to be. And most times you come out of this exam and with all of your reading, all right, Dr. Fasasi is saying he can't hear me. Oh wow, this is not nice. Okay, the media can hear me. Maybe Dr. Fasasi, maybe you can check your earpiece or something to ensure. All right, for all the times that this test we are reading, you come out of this exam, yeah, I get the point. That you know that I was underprepared. No matter how I read, I was underprepared. So there was no past question from you to look and glean from to now say, okay, this is how questions from veterinary entomology I ask, or this is how the veterinary pathology questions look like, or and so on and so forth. So it was really, really a scary thing to be a pioneer set, and that happens in 200, in 300, in 400, in the clinical years up until we graduated. We experienced everything for the first time, and it wasn't really a nice experience. It mounted a lot of pressures and all. And my class was also a very good class. Like imagine that 5 direct entry were selected, and out of 52 students in 100 levels, you had to pick the best 20. So the class was, by the time we were inducting, over 1/3 of the class graduated with first class, and then the less than 2/3 remaining doctors graduated with second class upper. You see, so it's a very intense class. So if you look at our CGPA, in fact, we are just following each other. So if you miss it at any point, throws you, like somebody just get ahead of you. So it was a very real and rigorous training for us. But thank God for the journey so far. We learned a lot of new things. We met friends. We had relationship, and also let me just dive into sharing what I want to share with you. I just isolated maybe 7 things I just think that will help. All right, one of my lecturers is here. I just saw it. So all right, thank you. So 7 things I just isolated. I think that would be of help to students in vet school that would just help them stay afloat. Some of these things are things that you've heard before, are things that we are told to you, if not all of the things that we are told to you, they are not going to be basically new things, but I just hope that you are going to see them in a new way. And then maybe when I share my experience with you, it will just help students um, navigate through vet school. So the first point I want to talk about is hard work. Now, there's no vet students that graduate at any point or with whatever kind of result without working hard. Like whether you graduate with a second class lower or whatever kind of result, or is a first class, there's sorry, I need to ensure that this stream is working. Okay, Dr. Grace is saying she can. All right. Sorry. Thank you for that. Sorry for that interruption. So we are back. So one of the first thing I said was hard work, or the first thing I'm saying right now is hard work. Like you can't graduate with any kind of result in vet school without working hard. The difference will now be in how much hard you work, right? And you need to understand that if you want to be someone that graduates with a first class or a second class, you need to set a goal, you need to set a target. This is what I want to graduate with. I always wanted to graduate with a first class, but I wasn't keen at any point. Actually, I wasn't keen about graduating as the best student, but I always wanted to graduate with the first class. I was more interested in graduating as the best clinical student and then graduating with the first class. But graduating as the best student, like overall best student, wasn't really my keen interest. So in all of those awards I got that day, I think the one that means so much to me was graduating with the first class and then graduating as the best clinical student. And I need to put a lot of hard work. Like I needed to read more. I needed to create time to study more. I'm in veterinary medicine. I'm not in mass comm. And this is not to derogate the course mass comm, but I mean the level of commitment you need to put in to graduate and become a veterinary doctor is different from what you need to put in when you study other courses. It's even much more different when you want to become a human medic, because whatever school you are and however the most medical school, human medical college, for example, operates maybe the regional system where they write the MBBS after a particular, like after a set of time, maybe in 300, in 400 and 500, but there's no professional exam in 200, for example. And some vet schools who operate that kind of system. My school write the semester exam, and you see that's also very, very difficult because you have to condense everything to make sure that by the end of the semester, with the entire school, you are writing an exam. So that gets really, really and very, very intense. So you need to work hard. Some of the things I try to do for myself is after lecture, sometimes I stay back in school to study more, and then I get home later, maybe in the night, maybe let's say 6:30, 7. Lectures normally, officially lectures terminate at 5. So I can put in 1 hour, 30 minutes reading. And then what I also do, especially my preclinical and paraclinical years, that's 2, 3, up to 400 level, right? And then very early in the morning, I try to be in school by 7 a.m. and then try to read and then maybe revise for like 40, 45 minutes before my friend comes. And then when my friend comes, we discuss Man City and all of those things before lecture starts at 8 for the day. So, and then I also try to put in a little during the weekend. And then one of the things I also try to do is that I start studying early. Like if semester resumes this week, I'm already studying this week. Well, in most vet school, you can't really dodge it because in my school, you start writing tests from day one. Like you are sure if you miss the first day in school, you have missed several shotguns, right? So, and then the next class you are going to have, you are not sure if you are going to get a shotgun or not, but you're almost sure that there's going to be a shotgun. So you just have to keep reading. So I actually start reading and launch out from B1, and it's very, very important. It has really helped me. By the time that an official test is being organized, when I'll be reading a material or going through a PowerPoint or something, it won't be new to me. It won't be like I'm seeing it for the first time because I've read it maybe 2 or 3 times before the exams or before that test, right? So and it gets easier. One other thing I also want to share is that I don't miss lectures. Throughout my entire stay in the university, I think I've only missed not up to 5 lectures. One in 100 level, I missed one in 200 level second semester, first day in school. Then I missed one lecture in 600 level. I came late for one class in 200 level. I can't remember missing any other class again. Like, so I like to attend lectures. Like, no matter what, I must be in that lectures. I must be in that lecture room. So these are part of the things that I think that would help. If you're a type who is a truant, like you don't come for lectures, you don't, well, I'll talk about some other things maybe along the line when we talk, right? So number 2, I want to talk about friends. You see, anytime when you come to vet school, it's very, very good that you socialize, right? The friends you keep are very important. A lot of my friends are within the veterinary cycle. From my portfolio and all that Grace was reading, I had friends in other faculties, but at some point they just kept complaining. We don't even see you. You don't have time for us. You don't, and all of those things. You have to have friends that are like-minded, friends that understand. I'm not saying all your friends have to be from the veterinary faculty or veterinarians or veterinary students, and I would say that is quite an unhealthy association, because I believe you are like, by the time you are graduating, you're supposed to be like a wholesome student. You have a bit of an idea of what happens in other part of the school. That's why it is called a university, right? So, but your friends are very, very important. There's this my colleague Elisha Joseph. So Dr. Elisha Joseph, he's one guy that I really like studying. He's more a hardworking person than I am actually. When we were students, and so he always pour me into reading. Elisha is good, and he's really, really hardworking, and he has been my friend since 100 level, and he has really, really been helpful. I think that a lot of your effort or a lot of your success in vet school depend on the kind of company you keep. It is very, very important. I think veterinary students should revisit, or look at the kind of friends if all you have is the friends that want you to chill during weekend, when you know you're definitely going to write the test on Monday or Tuesday, and it's not really going to help you a lot. You really need to, the interesting thing we used to tell ourselves is that by the time that you are in 200, 300, your parents had already announced in maybe their churches or their mosques or in their meetings with their colleagues that my child is already a doctor. And those kind of funny moments when maybe a visitor come to visit you in the family and then he sees you around, he'll be like, ah, doctor, you're around, and you're just in 300 level. So everybody's already referring to you as doctor. So the goal is to become a doctor at the end of the day. You have to pursue it. You are going to have time for friends. I mean, right now, if I don't even want to practice the profession again, I just want to be gallivanting around with friends. I just want to go wherever I want to go. Like, I can do that, and it won't still take the fact away that I'm still a doctor. So nothing changes that fact. But if I'd blown my opportunity when I was in vet school, it would be difficult. It would have been difficult, or better still, I might not have been the person here speaking with you. So I think friends are very, very important. Number three, I am one that believes that if you want to do well in vet school, then you have to do it well enough, right? What I'm trying to say here is that I don't subscribe to certain vices and certain immoral acts students do, right? So certain things like exam malpractice and so many other vices that students do, I don't subscribe to that. And I don't also advise students to subscribe to that. And I'm using this privilege because I'm on this platform to say to whoever that is listening to me now, wherever you're schooling, that if you are one who is engaged in exam malpractice, it's not going to help you. Like, it's not going to do you any good. It's going to really depreciate you. Like, you don't even know the extent to which you are intelligent, because you always support yourself in a way, support in quote, like when you enter for exams or for, and then so many of our vices like drunkenness, for example, or becoming an alcoholic. Like, it has thrown some of my colleagues then maybe in 100 level outside. These are people that you know that they have the potentials, they are very bright students, but and that takes us back to my second point. Because of wrong association, they engage themselves into certain habits, certain characters, and they couldn't push forward to be with us at certain points. So they had to be thrown away. My class, and I'm really, really proud of my class. We all through our state, since we got into 200 level, we had no record of exam malpractice within us. I mean, there was this point in my clinical years, I was the class rep also at some point. So there was this point in my clinical years that when we are writing maybe our end of round exams, when it's time for the exam, I go to the lecturer's office to tell him, whosoever is I'm supposed to administer the exam, to tell him that, sir, it's time for your exam and we are ready. And so many, a couple of times, some of the lecturers will hand over the question paper to me, and I will take the question paper from the office, go into the exam hall. My classmates will be seated. I'll distribute the question paper for them with my own, and then we'll time ourselves. If the exam is 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, we'll write the exam. When time is up, I stand up and I collect everybody's paper. This sounds like movie, right? But I mean, we do that, and I just collect everybody's paper and I submit it back to the lecturer. No exam. That's how much they trust us enough, right? That's how much they trust us. At some point, when we're even writing our professional exams in 500-600 level, the invigilators just come and then peep and just go away. I am in the class, and I can tell you that there was no record of, there was no cause for alarm. There was not even cause to be giving us some kind of close marking because of exam malpractice. And the class has been a very, very good class. I'll give it to them. Anyway, in the world, in the country, if you see anybody graduated from the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, University of Jos, especially the first set, give it to them. They are really a good class. I'm really, really proud of them. Right? So one other thing that students battle with, again, that's going to take me to my fourth point, is time management. Right? You almost don't have time for anything. Like, the work just keep piling from day one. There's tests to prepare for, there's practical to report, there's assignment, and then if you're involved in so many other things, like I was, maybe I'm a Christian, so in church activities, other social activities, you also need to be committed and to be responsible for some of the roles that you are given to play in that part. So you are looking at balancing all of those things. One of the things I try to advise students or tell students when it comes to this time management is to see your life as one. and not to really isolate and segregate your life, right? For example, this is what I mean. For example, I see, like I said, I'm a Christian. I see my studies, for example, as a service unto God, right? That is in no way supposed to replace my church involvement, for instance. But I don't also, if at any point I don't get to go to, for example, a weekly activity, right? And because I'm in school or because I have school runs to do, I don't beat myself to now say that right now what I'm doing is sinful or something, right? I see it as one. Like the entire goal of this thing is to become a doctor, and in all is to glorify God. So when you look at it that way, I believe it's going to help you manage your time, right? And then you also try to put up a scale of preference and cut off unnecessary things, right? There is going to be a birthday party, and then you have physiology tests to write, like, um, and you are not well prepared for the test. If you go for that birthday party, it's going to steal a lot of your time, and you are not going to be as prepared in order to pass. Like, common sense should tell you that this birthday party can wait. Like, if God keeps us alive and this person is still alive, he's going to celebrate so many other birthdays after I've become a doctor, and I'm going to attend that. And then, and in a grand style, there were times that I was also not very, very wise in the way that I do things. I remember at some point I was traveling, I was going for programs because I play instruments. So sometimes I could just travel to Abuja or travel to, there was one of those programs that we had. It was a weekend program, and we are starting physiology exam on a Monday. I mean, by the time I was done with that program on Sunday, I was tired. I couldn't read for 30 minutes. Like, I couldn't read for 30 minutes. And the exam was the next day. Like, it took God to really help me out of it. I think I was all right. Thanks for that. I think I was really, really just um, I really was just lucky with that exams, and it was an interesting exam all the same. But manage your time well, cut out excesses. You are going to have time to revisit them later in life or during holidays, or just learn to plan your time very well. Now, this is about the important point I think I want to talk about. And that's take me to my fifth point. Know yourself, like know your pattern, know what works for you. You see, when you get to medical school or in veterinary school, you are going to see people who are always reading. I mean, we are just done having lectures. Everybody's tired, everybody's exhausted, and these people are now going to the library. I mean, like, how do they operate? And so sometimes that kind of thing can intimidate you. I want to let you know that you don't get intimidated by those kind of things. Like, just know what works for you. I, for example, have said one of my secrets is that I start reading early. Then secondly, I don't read for long. And that's because I know myself. I tend to read very fast, and I tend to also comprehend very fast and to retain very fast. Sometimes I know that if I can have a very, very good 2 hours of reading, I can overturn what some students would do in 5 hours, right? So I don't feel intimidated because you are carrying a book. Yeah, sometimes I pick up the challenge and say, I think I should be reading. This might cost me. Sometimes you pick challenge that way. But I mean, I know myself, and I take advantage of it. I know that I can study fast. I know that I comprehend fast. And I know that I try to also retain a lot. So that has really, really helped me. For some other people, they have to read over and over and over again before they can comprehend to some extent and then retain to some extent. It's not a disadvantage on their part. They might not see it that way, but it is just a way of, people are different. That's just what it is. People are different. Our memories are wired differently. So you need to know yourself. Like, if somebody who needs a longer period of time to study and then to retain, gets to do what I am doing, I mean, he won't succeed. A lot of my classmates just keep telling me that I wish I have your kind of brain, I wish I have your kind of memory. And sometimes I also really wish for them that they have my own kind of memory. But we are wired differently. So just know what works for you, and don't get intimidated by anyone. And just make sure that when you know yourself, you plan your life according to how your memory works, how your mind works, how your psychology is, and all. And I think that will help you. there was this debate about lecturers will always say, don't cram, learn to know, learn to understand what we are teaching you, and don't cram, and all of those things. It's really a big deal for veterinary students, whether should I read to understand or should I just cram to pass exam. And I would say that you do both, right? Because when a lecturer is marking your script, all he wants to know is that you give him what he wants in order to pass, right? All right, so I'll be rounding up very soon. My network, okay, I think I'm back. Thank you. So, um, so I was talking about cramming and committing to memory, right? Like I advise students to always learn to understand, right? And you have all of those periods within the semester. Try to get the gist, like try to get what the concept of the course is. Try to get what the lecturer teaches. It's really going to help you after vet school. And that's why you really need to attend lectures. When it comes to exams, our advice, all that you need to do in order to pass exam, all that is morally and legally right, that you need to do in order to pass exams, do it. If you need to understand to pass exam, is that if that's what works for you, please do it. Like me, understanding works best for me. I don't like cramming. Any course that has to do with a lot of cramming and all of those things, among the list of all of the things I got, you won't see this thing in parasitology, because there are so many parasites to cram, there are so many things to know and all of that, and that doesn't work for me. And I have some of my coursemate that it works for them. So all that you need to do to pass a certain course, please pass it, especially at the point of exams. But I also desire that you should understand everything that is taught. My final point is going to be motivation. Now, whatever keeps you motivated, like whatever keeps you going, try to find that thing and do it. Of course, that thing will have to be moral. And I'll just like an example. For me, I school in the same city where my parents live. And anytime I'm getting exhausted, anytime the pressures are becoming overwhelming, all I need to do is to find a weekend and just go stay with my family. By the time I'm coming back, and the following Monday, I'm just like a supernatural be like I will just shed off all of the pressures. I'll shed off all of those things that overwhelm me. I'll just come back very refreshed. Like that is a lot of motivation for me. So after throughout my stay in Vespa, I've not stay away from my family for up to a month, without seeing my family for up to a month, because the pressures mount up very fast and very quickly, right? Especially my faculty then, they were expecting a lot from us, like a whole lot from us. And they were really, really committed to seeing that we turn out very, very good. I really will give it to them. They really helped us a lot. The lecturers were very, very friendly. I don't know what is obtainable in other institutions, but I mean, no, I think I attended the best school, best veterinary school in the country, especially when I attended it. I really think so, because we met with students from other faculty, and some of them, when they see how there's this my colleague, he's in Akure now, I'm working. He came for IT one time and he was like, the way you people relate with your lecturers, very friendly people, and he really likes the fact. So I think my lecturers were very, very helpful. So find what keeps you motivated, and those can be moments where you can just relieve your pressures, relieve your my mom, for example, has just been in support. My family never put me under any pressure to say you must graduate with first class, you must graduate as the best student. I kept telling my friends all through my stay in vet school, my mom never called, or somebody from my house never called to now say, hope you are reading, hope you are studying well. No, the question is, how are you doing? Have you eaten? All of those questions that try to take care of your well-being. So I wasn't under any pressure at any point to impress anyone. So I was just schooling. And well, I thank God, all to glory to God, sincerely speaking, I thank God, and I don't take it for granted that I graduated as the best student. But I want to let you know that that class was no joke at all. Like, was no joke at all. Like I said, over one third of my class graduated with first class, and the remaining less than two thirds graduated with second class upper. A lot of my colleagues now have publications in international journals. Some are the points I have with me here,
I think Dr. Onuche is having network issues at the moment. Dr. Onuche, are you back?
yes, I think I'm back. Sorry, I think my network went off at some point. Thank you.
Okay, okay. You can continue, sir.
All right. At what point did you lose me? Because at the point I was having that network issues, I was just rounding up.
Yes, you were talking about how your parents didn't put any pressure on
Okay.
you,
I think at
and
that point I
that
said I
was when you
wasn't under
stopped your.
any pressure. Yeah, I think I wasn't under any pressure to impress anyone with my result. And that's a lot. I also don't think parents should put their students under pressure to say you must graduate as the best. You must no. It doesn't work that way. It breeds unhealthy competition. And putting it really there's how it works. I think the psychology of student and it affects their performance. Like they can go into doing what they are not really supposed to do at certain point in time. So just find what keeps you motivated and stay motivated. Vet school is a lot of stress. Enjoy the moment with friends and with colleagues. Enjoy your time. And I just trust that for every student that is following up online, I wish you all the best, and I pray that you have a very smooth sail. It might be rough, actually. The sail in Vesco is not smooth, but I just wish you a safe landing. That's all I can say. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Onuche. That was very, very inspiring, and it was a wonderful talk with you. One of the things I learned today was to make goals, and then to stick by your goals, and then should never miss lectures. I think most of us are guilty on missing lectures, but this is really wonderful. I can't even believe that you only missed five lectures or six in the course of your 6 years in veterinary medicine. This is very, very impressive. Thank you very much for coming, and thank you very much for your time. We have some questions that I would like you to answer, because some people want to know more and then they want to understand this topic better. So I'll be calling Dr. Fasasi Abdubasit. So he's going to be anchoring this question and answer section. So Dr. Fasasi.
Thank you very much, Dr. Grace. I think it's been a wonderful
You're welcome.
morning. We've learned and we learned. Even we that were no more in school, I can say that we actually picked a lot from your lecture, sir. So for those that did not join us early, and for those that might have missed 1 or 2 points, I'll be recapping a few points he mentioned that is going to help you through your vet school journey. He mentioned that you need to be committed, and you can see he was committed enough to even miss just five for a whole 6 or 7 years or 8 years, I don't know.
I'm
Just five
serious.
lectures
Bye.
in the whole of his vet school journey. That's so much. I think you might not even be able to see that ratio anywhere again among vet students. Another thing he said is that we should study early and study hard. It's very important. So if you miss that point, you need to note it down that as soon as school resumes, your reading should also resume. Shun examination malpractice. You cannot cheat your way to earn a DVM. It's a noble cause, it's a righteous cause, so you need to shun any social vices or malpractice and earn your DVM um, with yourself and your brain. Also, it mentioned that you should cut out your excesses. When it's time to read, don't go out to watch football for the guys. When it's time to read, don't go out to party or whatever. Be focused on your dream and make sure you study hard and study well, and then your hard work will definitely show. So while we're harvesting the questions, I think I have about 2 questions here with me. Doctor, are you with us, sir?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. The first question is that did you choose vet school or did vet school choose you? I'll
Mhm.
be reading out three questions at a time, sir, so that you can answer the questions at intervals. So
All
the
right.
first question is: did you choose vet school or vet school chose you? The second question is: was it passion that kept you going in vet school, or just because you wanted to um, read and pass out excellently well, or was it just passion for you? And then thirdly, were you just a were you just an academic scholar while in school, or you had extracurricular activities that you did while in school, either politics, sports, or some other things that are not solely academics? So those are the first three questions, sir.
All right, thank you. I didn't apply veterinary medicine. Yeah, first I applied human medicine. So when the admission list came out and it was vet, I had to go back to process it. Like I had to really, really process that. And I mean, people I was looking up to then that really advised me. And at the time I was in 300 level, I remember one day my elder brother was asking me if I had the opportunity to apply again, what would be the course? And I said if I had 10 opportunities to apply, and all of the 10 times I applied veterinary medicine and all. So thank you so much for that. I didn't choose vet. Vet chose me, and I mean, it's going to be a union forever. Then was it just passion, or I just wanted to graduate with excellence? I actually have a team with excellence. Some of the people I talk with, like some of the junior students I talk with, right, that are still in the faculty, like they know I don't put them under pressure actually, but I mean I try to see that they excel. So I really have a team for excellence. I really, really do. And that's not to leave out the passion. Like I really have the passion for the team. One of the things I tried to do, especially during the COVID year, I was still in school. When there was lockdown and everything, I tried to be in the clinic like every day throughout the year, except when the lockdown was very intense. But I was in the clinic throughout the year. I tried to develop my skill and my dexterity in the practice of it. Like I was saying, graduating as a very clinical student was really a thing for me. I don't just want to be a person of the books. I also wanted to show in my practice. So I was really, really passionate about it. And I mean, I've treated quite a number of animals across several species and across the country too. Not all over the country, just some few states in the country. That's a privilege I don't take for granted. Then I'm not really the sporting type, but I can remember I played football at some point. In fact, we went to represent the faculty, so at some point. Um, and then I do a lot of music things. So that takes me. In fact, during Vespa, I was traveling. I was traveling to go and play, but in near states, yeah, I wasn't going all that far. I think the farthest was in Abuja. But in all of that, sometimes I play maybe in a concert or a program in Abuja Sunday night, and maybe 3:30 a.m. We're already leaving Abuja, and by 7:45 I'm in front of the school gate, and my classmates wouldn't even know that I travel, and so I'm sitting in for lectures. I might be tired and dull for the day, but I mean we'll catch up. Thank you.
All right, sir.
All
Thank you very
right.
much for handling those questions very, very well. Okay. From what I can pick from what I can pick from what you said was that you can strike a balance with your academics and your extracurricular activities. You can
Yeah.
always do it together. So you're a scholar by excellence. So, sir, a question came up that what would you advise people who had a rough start to their vet school journey and are willing now to find a way around it and then get back to their feet? What would be your advice to them? What would you tell them to do? What's your admonishment for them, sir?
I have I have colleagues, for example, that had a very, very rough start. Some just barely made it with us into vet school, but they're able to find their way and they graduated very well. Some of them have distinction in certain courses. Some of them have publications already. Some of them are doing very, very good and they graduated very, very well. So if you have a rough start, that is in no way supposed to limit you, right? You just need to, especially if you've not gone far. But wherever you are in the cadre in vet school, I think there's how you can make things up. Some of my classmates, for example, had carryovers. I had to carry over courses, and all of that. It was very, very rough for them. One of the things we try to do as a class is to ensure that we were supporting them, our class reps, so we could adjust timetable and lectures to suit them to make sure that they're able to get and to continue the journey with us. It might not going to be easy, but I don't want you to give up if you are hearing me, if you are here and you are hearing me. And I don't just want you to allow things sail at their own speed and direction. Like, take up the paddle and you can row your boat. And so from all of the things that we shared, maybe some of the things that I did or some of the points I shared, you can pick up anything that you think can help. Is it time management? Is it friends? Is it cutting out excesses? Is it trying to motivate yourself? Is it trying to understand your pattern and know what works best for you? You can speak with senior colleagues that you feel like are doing very well in in vet school, and they can share ideas with you. Just try to get yourself dusted. I've had classmates, like I said earlier, that we are in real mess at certain point. But I mean, today they are doctors and they graduated very, very well. Very, very well. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that, sir. I believe every one of us who is finding ourselves in this current situation, I've picked a few words from what you said, and I think it can be a sort of strength to them going forward. So we'll be picking the last round of the questions. I'll be calling on Dr. Grace Ahmed to take those questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Fasasi. There's this phrase that most vet students actually use. They'll be like, vet medicine is after my mental health, vet medicine is after my health. So this question came in. What was your coping mechanism to stress? Were you ever depressed? And if yes, how did you overcome it? And then the second
Okay.
question is, how did you balance your relationship with your friends outside of vet school? I'm sure you've actually answered this. And someone else asked, what was your study pattern like? And then another question goes, were you at any time pressured or victimized by lecturers or students for being the best? And how did you survive it? You have the floor, sir.
All right, thank you very much. What was my coping mechanism to stress and to pressure? I was sharing that one of my motivation was going back home to spend time with family and then spending time with friends. It might just sound very little, but that's all I needed throughout high school. Sincerely, I never went to a party or a club or something. Like, I never really did. And yeah, sometimes we spend time with friends too. And it's no matter how stressful vet school is, you are going to have a day or two in the semester that is going to be like a lag phase or a time frame where you can really blow up to do something extracurricular, right? And so in some of those times, I think I and my friends, we can watch a movie or so. We really do that to relax and all. And then the time spending with family is really it helps me a big deal. So just find what keeps you motivated and what really refreshes and invigorates you, and that would help. The other question, my study pattern. Like I said, I start reading early. One of the things I try to do, I like hard copy materials. So when I'm reading a material, for example, I try to jot down summary by the side of the material or behind a particular page. So if I have the handout, for example, it photocopied, not front and back. I don't like front and back photocopied, right? So I can just jot down important points behind the handout, right? When I'm studying. And then I try to study maybe 2 or 3 times before a test, right? When I'm studying for the first time, like I said, I'm a fast reader and I comprehend fast. But with that, I just try to read very, very fast. I don't try to stay to know everything the first time I'm reading. So I just try to read very, very fast. In that way, it's saving me time. And based on how I know myself, I could retain maybe, let's say, between 40 and 60% of all that I read. By the time I'm reading it the second time, it won't be that new to me. And now it will even be faster than the first time because I've seen the material before. Then the third time would just be a revision, right? I've never done TDP throughout best. It does not work for me. I've never done TDP, like to read from the night through to the morning. It doesn't work for me. If I can have 2, 3 hours max, 4 hours, that works for me. Then I try to make sure I rest well. Like almost throughout best school, I can't remember sleeping for less than 5 hours. Right? It's not like I'm a very lazy person, but I try to ensure those are some of the early things we did from our lecturers. They say try to rest well, and I think resting well um, works for me. Sometimes if I have a lot of things to do at a particular time, maybe 5, 6 things to do, you don't even know what to start doing. What I just do is that I just go to sleep. And when you wake up, sometimes you just try to strategize very well. So that works for me. And maintaining relationship with other students, you try as much as you can to do that within the confines of extra time that you have. But if you absolutely can, it's just the nature of the course. You really don't owe anybody any explanation. And I'm not trying to make us irresponsible and very, very how will I say call it inert. That's the word coming to my mind now. Or insensitive to friendship. I think that's better. I'm not trying to make us insensitive to friendship, but I mean your friends are not also going to be happy if you are thrown out of the faculty or if you are failing and they are progressing, right? So you might just need to explain to them. For those that will understand. For sometimes understanding is a matter of choice. Those that really don't want to understand will not understand, not because you are not saying something incomprehensible, but because they don't just want to understand. So I mean, sometimes it helps to weed out friends in your life. If you're a doctor, your life is going to get, you are going to have a very serious life, not like serious in the way the word is used most times, but I mean, you are going to just have serious-minded and focused people in your life. I think there's one more question that I'm leaving out, Dr. Grace. Can you help me with that?
Yeah, I'm coming right now.
All right.
Yeah, the question was if you were ever or victimized
Depressed.
by lecturers and students for being the best.
Okay.
No, 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 no. Victimized or
Yes, yes,
victimized
yes.
for
I
being
get
the
you.
best. Yes,
Yes, I get you. Sometimes it's a very, very,
yes,
it's a very, very delicate place to be. By lecturers, no, no lecturer had in any way tried to victimize or handle or rub it in at any point, or you trying to be the best. But with colleagues, they've not outrightly also done that. Well, sometimes you can pick from somebody's best language, especially when competition sets in, right? You can just pick from somebody's body language that, and like I said, our CGP were not just too far from each other, so you can just pick from somebody's body language that he wishes the best. At some point, I had a classmate that was very, very competitive, right? That would be monitoring my test script, monitoring my scores, monitoring, and I sometimes I just look at the fellow and I would like, you are really, really suffering yourself. Like I said, being the best wasn't even my thing. And I wasn't even at the top of the class. Like my CGPA wasn't the first all through vet school. Like it was afterward that my CGPA came the first. So I was on first class and that was just enough. And eventually when the BGS thing came up, like I was just grateful to God. But I wasn't really putting myself under any pressure to try to impress everybody or try to. And my classmates also didn't put me under the spotlight. Also, they were also very, very good people, and we were just cooling and we were cool. Even though it's human, sometimes some people could just feel as if, but I mean, we are cool. Thank you. Are you here, Dr. Grace? Dr. Grace, are you here? Dr.
Sorry
Grace, are
about
you
that, my
here?
network. What
All
about?
right.
Yes,
I
I'm
think
with you.
I
Yeah.
can see one
Thank
question
you very
on
much.
the screen that is saying, what was your biggest strength
Yes,
at
yes,
school?
I'm about to. Yes, I was about to say that.
I think my biggest strength is the fact
Yes.
that I know what works for me.
One final
Like,
question.
okay, okay, please come up. Sorry, please.
No problem. I think the network is giving us mixed signals. Yeah. So one final question came in. What was your Yeah, so I think this is going to be our last question for this edition of Aspire. So what was your biggest strength at school?
All right, I think my biggest strength is was the fact that I understood myself. I know how my mind works, and I try to engage it. I know how, like, I know my IQ level to some extent. I know my reading pattern. I know the atmosphere I had to read to grasp. I like a very, very quiet atmosphere. No music playing in the background, no noise. Very, very quiet atmosphere. And even if it is just 2 hours, I think I can do a lot. And for the fact that I know that I'm a fast reader and comprehend very, very fast, I really try to leverage on that, and in order to so I think that's really, really, I consider that as the biggest strength among all other things. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Onuche, for your time.
Thank you, Dr.
We
Grace.
are coming to the end of this month's edition of Aspire by Farmer. It was a very interesting show, and everything we said was very, very inspiring. And we want to thank you for coming up for your time. I would like to call on Dr. Fasasi to give us the closing remark for today's show. Dr. Fasasi, are you around?
Yes, I'm here with you, Dr. G. Um, Good afternoon to everyone and to our guest speaker. I must say that it has been a very interesting morning and afternoon for every one of us on this call. And for the topic, I believe every one of us have taken one or two things on how we can excel and stay afloat through vet school while balancing our academic and our extracurricular activities. Dr. Onute has given us a wonderful lecture, an eye-opening lecture also, and is a testament to the fact that excellence pays a lot and hard work also pays a lot. So, um, for the first edition of Aspire for this year, I believe it's a success. Guest speaker has spoken a lot and on the topic that we chose. So, expect us to always come forth with a hot topic in, in the environment and society where best students, veterinarians, and professionals can always learn one or two things from the Aspire program hosted by Farmalat. Once again, thank you very much to our speaker, Farmalat, the media team, the facilitators, and the team behind this Aspire program. It's been a wonderful morning and afternoon, and we wish to see you guys again when we come up with the next edition of Aspire program. That will be all from my end. Dr. Gary, I don't know if you have any. Dr. Grace, I don't know if you have anything to say before we close up.
Oh no, I don't. I just want to thank Dr. Onche for coming up and spending few minutes with us today. It was really a very enlightening show, and I'm very sure a lot of people actually learned a lot from today's episode of Aspire by Farmalat. So thank you very much. Thank you everyone for
Thank you very
taking your
much,
time to
Dr.
watch
Grace. I
this
appreciate it.
show. We'll see you same time next. Yeah, you're welcome. We'll see you next time. Same place, Farmalat TV on YouTube for another edition of Aspire. So thank you very much. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you
Thank you
very
very much,
much.
Dr. Grace. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
When we talk of fishes and how to make them healthy. When we talk of dogs and pets all around and how to make them happy. All that comes to play is family. All that comes to mind is family. When we talk about to make a fun and how to make it grow. When we talk of everything, now family to know. Now family to know. Even as a family, my crops them know that we die. In education, we are the information, we are the sensitization, we number one. Farm Alarm, providing health care for livestock owners and their livestock.